When we think of garden maintenance, we usually picture, a relaxing weekend activity out in the backyard. But at a high-stakes industrial refinery, pulling a single weed or trimming a hedge actually requires this incredibly intense, highly orchestrated safety framework. Literally every single movement, every tool, and every drop of water is governed by rigorous legal obligations.
So you might be wondering, what is so dangerous about pulling weeds anyway? Why does a simple garden routine require a massive job safety analysis document that covers everything from muscle strain to catastrophic explosions? Well, it sounds like a total exaggeration, right? But the reality is that the combination of heavy loads, unpredictable environments, spinning blades, and hazardous chemicals creates a perfect storm of potential injury. This isn't just about making the grounds look nice, it's about making absolutely sure every worker goes home in one piece.
This risk rating matrix completely shatters the illusion of gardening as a casual hobby. Under the Work Health and Safety Act, every single step of the process is evaluated. If a task hits that high-risk threshold, everything stops, no exceptions. Immediate action is required, and the task absolutely cannot proceed until the risk is adequately controlled and escalated to a supervisor. You are constantly operating within the strict confines of this matrix.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer today. 1. Decoding the safety matrix. 2. Manual handling and movement. 3. Environmental and public hazards. 4. Power tools and equipment. And finally, 5. High stakes, chainsaws and chemicals.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, Decoding the Safety Matrix.
Under the law, putting on personal protective equipment, or PPE, is actually your absolute last resort. Employers must first try to completely eliminate the hazard. If you can't do that, you substitute it, isolate it, use engineering controls like a forklift, or apply administrative rules. Putting on a hard hat is literally the final line of defense when all else fails. Moving right along into the dirt with Section 2, Manual Handling and Movement. Here we find that even the simple acts of lifting, moving, and walking are heavily regulated to prevent skeletal musculoskeletal damage. 16. That is the magic number here. 16 kilograms is the absolute maximum single-person lift limit. Think about a heavy bag of potting mix or a large watering can. If it crosses that 16-kilo threshold, the rules legally mandate mechanical assistance, like a forklift or a trolley or a dedicated two-person team lift. And even then, strict administrative controls dictate your posture. We're talking bent knees, straight back, load held close to the body, and absolutely no twisting at the waist. Get this. Even just watering the garden beds escalates to a high-risk activity when it happens near the atrium pond. You strictly require a spotter. You can never, ever work alone here. Furthermore, workers are completely forbidden from leaning over the water's edge to water the plants. They have to use a hose or a watering can with adequate reach. Let's step back a bit for Section 3, Environmental and Public Hazards. It's fascinating to contrast the unpredictable nature of wildlife hiding in the leaf litter against the kinetic danger of passing traffic. Both require completely different layers of administrative control to survive. For natural hazards, you must disturb dense vegetation with a rake before ever reaching in by hand, just in case a snake is sheltering in there. On the flip side, working near a road demands Class D+N high-visibility garments, meaning they are strictly rated for both day and night use, alongside highly structured, coned-off exclusion zones so you don't become a struck-by statistic from a passing car. Escalating the danger even further, we have Section 4, Power Tools and Equipment. This is where we introduce spinning blades, roaring engines, and the highly flammable fuels required to run them. 5 meters. You must establish a strict 5-meter exclusion zone around any operating lawnmower, hedger, or blower vac. Before you even think about starting the engine, the area has to be completely cleared of loose rocks, sticks, or any potential projectiles. That 5-meter zone is totally non-negotiable to protect bystanders and other personnel from high-speed ejected debris. And the safety manuals really don't mince words here. Rotating equipment doesn't just annoy you, it practically guarantees irreversible hearing loss if ignored. This mandates Class 5 earmuffs or equivalent earplugs for all power tool operation. And it's not just the operator. Anyone standing within that noise exclusion zone must also be wearing full hearing protection. Because we are handling mixed fuels, bar oil, and petrol, even the simple act of refueling a hot brush cutter carries a medium risk of fire and explosion. This requires rigorous administrative controls. You must allow that engine to cool for a minimum of 10 minutes.
You can only refuel in open-air areas completely away from naked flames, mobile phones, or sparks. And you must always have a spill kit or a kitty litter immediately on hand to contain any dangerous leaks.
Which brings us to the peak of our escalation arc, Section 5, High Stakes, Chainsaws and Chemicals. This is where the hazards become immediately life-threatening, and the safety controls turn into literal armor.
If a worker is exposed to heavy-duty fertilizers or other caustic garden chemicals, the immediate response is absolutely critical. Before any chemical application even begins, an emergency eye wash station or clean running water must be verified. If skin or eye contact occurs, they must flush the area with clean running water for a staggering 15 minutes straight before seeking first aid.
I really want to pause here because understanding this specific hazard in the upper quadrant of the chainsaw bar tip is quite literally a matter of life and death. Kickback is violent and it's sudden. Because of this extreme high risk, there is no single mandatory national license, but the duty of care requires operators to be formally trained and assessed as competent before they are ever allowed to pull the ripcord on a chainsaw.
To survive a potential kickback or a snapped chain, operators must be clad in specialized cut-resistant armor. We are talking Class 1 protective chaps or trousers, cut-resistant gloves, a safety helmet with an integrated mesh visor, and heavy-duty hearing protection. On top of this physical armor, you must maintain a 3-meter exclusion zone at all times. You even have to engage the chain brake just to walk a few steps between cuts.
So, as we wrap up this explainer on the incredible complexities of industrial gardening, we've seen how something as simple as pulling a weed, watering a pond, or mowing a lawn requires a deeply structured matrix of risk assessment to prevent total disaster. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When you step out into your own backyard or tackle your daily chores, what hidden high-risk hazards might you be completely ignoring without even realizing it?